It's been quite a while, I know. Hello, mi amor. Hola, hola. guapo. 안녕하세요. 진짜 오랜만이죠? 저 머리도 엄청 많이 길어졌죠? 머리 좀 다르게 해보고 싶어가지고 기분 전화로. I'll see you guys very soon during the tour, right? Anyway, how is everybody? I know it's been so long. I miss you all so much. I hope everyone's tip-top. And even if you're not, fuck that rhymes, eh? Even if you're not, it's fine, right? Sayang. Yeah, so I just want to come on, just say hi. I'm doing absolutely great, fine. I'm doing lovely. It's been quite the journey. I will say I've been working quite a bit around the clock, you know, even after the career show. By the way, who saw the Lives documentary episode? I think 3 or part 2, part 3. If you haven't, go check that out. It's on your C2L page. It's so good. You made a cover of my pretty face. Thank you so much, darling. That's I please send it through. Tag me on there. You know. My hair has gotten to the length where it has become uncontrollably fucking hard to do anything with, but you know, that's just how it is, right? Someone says they're gonna dress up as a chamoy for me. I mean, I love that. I don't know what to say. Do I have to eat the chamoy or what? Anyway, yeah, first things first, surprise. Hair's getting extremely long. I'm growing out for you for the tour, right? Just because, you know, on stage I reckon it's gonna look fairly pretty, 맞아요, pretty예요. Just fairly better on stage. Yes, hola. Okay, so beautiful. So yeah, I think a couple of things that I wanted to really like come on live and, you know, just obviously there's a few updates I wanted to give everyone, but also because I miss you, but also just some things that I wanted to talk about, you know, and you know, just to summarize it, I think the points come from number one, it's the idea of knowing, I think, when you should stand up for yourself, right? It's the idea of knowing when you should stand up for yourself, and I get it. The world right now is forever interchanging. We're becoming more woke, more awake, however you want to say it. Censorship is becoming so controversial that I think we are becoming more fond about talking about the problem and kind of living in it rather than actually solving it and addressing it. I think we've become more fond with and more comfortable with the idea of needing someone to focus and drive our anger towards rather than just comprehending it as a unity. I think there's more unity in fear nowadays as opposed to empowerment. We've become more collectively, I think, more ironically more distance and in the idea of uniting in fear and anger and hate. All right, I think that's why we become more sensitive. I get it. You know, it's a lot of things happening. In this world, and you know, we are becoming more and more into a dystopian society. So I completely understand, but I think that really does come from a point where we need to, I think, solidate the ideas of needing to have a safe spot, a safe place. And you know, for the longest time, I wanted DPR to be like that. I really wanted DPR to be that source, at least with all that shit going on. You know, it's because technically it's the only thing that I can provide realistically. You know, and to be honest, it was very disheartening to see some people say that it was a safe spot, but it kind of it had to be second guessed to a certain extent because of, you know, certain things and issues and obviously certain moments that people have been going through. I love you too. So, you know, and it is sad to see sometimes the community that we've kind of cherished and strived so hard in building to become the very thing that we never wanted it to sort out to be, have a little bit of that type of conflict and have a little, and start to draw bits of essences from that, right? But as you all know, everything, someone said shoot me, I'm definitely not going to shoot you. But as we all know, realistically, that's something that we cannot change. It's something that's, inevitable. As people get popular, as groups become bigger, you're more exposed to the people that would disagree on your opinions, and you're more exposed to the people that just want to hate you because they just want to fucking hate you, right? And I think that's kind of the fucked up world that we live in, apparently, and sadly that's just the realistic case of it. But for me, I don't condemn anybody, and I'll never do such a thing. For me, it's more about how do we encourage now people to see people through and see more of a way where they can kind of see the good in everything rather than the bad. But I get it. It starts from the bad. I always say you have to learn how to be really bad at something to be really good at it. Not just things technically, but things mentally, right? And I had to be really bad at something to become really good at it. But you never want to strive for perfection or have the idea that everything has an end, which means there is like perfection to a certain extent. And in your world, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to classify whatever you have as your motive as perfection, that's great. You can personalize it, but just don't hinder when somebody goes and trashes it. It's becoming more and more harder to be a public figure nowadays, right? I think the term public figure has lost a lot of its value. The idea of celebrities are not people that are put on pedestals, but rather the people that needs to be shunned upon in society. And it is. I always say, the more things that are less rare in this world, the less rare things get, obviously the more value it loses. So here's what I'm trying to say at the end of the day. DPR has always been a haven. I wanted it to always be a haven for creatives, or people that want to get away from the real world. This is, I saw something the other day. Artists are meant to deny reality, right? That's what makes, just think about that. Artists are here to deny reality. It's to transform and terraform their imaginations into what they believe and into their perception of what reality is. Right, and that's what makes it beautiful. Often, more times, the most fucked up people are artists, right? So, with that being said, there's no need for an artist to clarify or really kind of officialize what they want to express, as long as it's not hurting anybody, as long as it's not deeming something evil and something that would just absolutely obliterate somebody to a certain extent. I truly believe it's even people like that, even people that want to express moments like that, they do get their point across. But me personally, I'm just not in favor for that. Now, I think it's become such a fad, especially in K-pop, and especially in the idea of idolizing your idols. The term idol, first of all, I've never really been fond of the idea of that. But the whole point that I'm trying to make is, people put a lot of celebrities on podiums and whatnot, which great, I get it, and for me, listen, I used to be an idol, so I understand where the whole idea of like having that certain imagination of wanting to be with that person, wanting to kind of care for that person really does come from. I get it, like I completely understand, and there are certain moments where there should be boundaries, and the boundaries should not be crossed. But inevitably, as we all know, those things can't be controlled. Like we can't control people that are just there. Their fucking minds are just gone. It's more of an obsession rather than a like a fan type of. I think there's a difference between obsession and supporting someone just because you're a huge fan of that person's art and everything. There's always going to be people in this world, trust me, there is, right? And there's something that we can't really do anything about. Now, coming to terms with that, I don't want that part of the world, that part of the fandom, to overshadow the people that really want to support an artist because they really truly believe this artist has helped them in all types of situations, right? Like, do not let, and this is the point I was trying to make, it's when do you stand up for yourself then, right? Because I know there are so many people and so many dreamers and so many fans out there that support DPR because it has become a safe haven, because it has become somewhat of a environment, somewhat of a movement for you that you can lean back and just get away from your reality, and you can meet a good amount of good people that can help you through life in general. And just for kicks and giggles, just fucking, it's a show, right? It's a show. It's a show. We're putting on a show, ladies and gentlemen, right? So don't let I get it, but don't let people overrun your idea of what you believe is your safe haven, right? If you don't fight for that, if you don't fight for what you believe in and the people that you believe in, then what does that make it? Like, what value does that really bring to yourself, right? And I get it. It's because sometimes people like that aren't confrontational. Like, where I'm, you know what? Like, the reason why I'm coming out and saying all this stuff, and some people will be like, don't give it too much power, don't talk too much about it, because you're giving them what you want. But for me, I'm sick and tired of fucking like what am I? I don't want people to start treating me like I'm like their like obsession, right? And I know, I get it. Like, it's not something that you can help, and it's not something that you can handle. But at the same time, like, if I let a lot of these things go, I'm just going to be framed like that. I'm just going to have people frame that, and more so, it's going to accessorize other people's support, other people's real idea of passion for somebody, for their artist, to go like completely fucking over their heads. And I would never want to disvalue somebody's real, genuine heart of wanting to support somebody in that light over something as freaking petty as that. And for me, it's like, I'm not the type of artist that I used to be an idol, so that's what I hate about that shit. Like, I always used to hate not being able to express myself and having such a censorship, because whatever I say and whatever I do can lead up to factoring to like not getting like those fans like on my team. And for me, it's like I would rather have more genuine fans, even if it's like a little, like even if it's like 1/10 of what I used to have, as opposed to like millions and millions of fans that have like absolutely no intent other than like wondering if like it's more striking that if I have a girlfriend, or it's like, all these other things, all these factors that have. Am I lagging? Fuck my life. Am I lagging? Am I lagging? Someone said, bro, we support your weird content. That's what I mean. Fucking, let's just be here for that, But I get it. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not imposing, right? Mamacita, right? Now listen, I never impose, right? I never want to impose on anybody's beliefs. I never want to impose on anybody's ideals. And your morals are justified to your own, completely, right? I never do that, right? And listen, man, I love fan service. I love reading a lot of that daddy shit, and like, even though I'm not, look at me, fucking, I don't know how to. I'm a boomer. No, I'm not. I'm a millennial, but I'm not like, I'm not in it. I'm trying to get into it, but point being, there's always a time and a place for everything. But the more the more people don't stand up for themselves, the more artists don't really stand up for themselves, the more this is going to be a fad, right? Because fans are always going to be fighting for you. Fans are always going to be fighting for you, but you have a separation of what their idea of what they're fighting for you about. And then where do you draw the line of what's right and what's wrong? All right. So then, but then I think that should come solemnly from the artist. If I don't put my foot down, if I'm not vocal about who I am as a person and what I want people to support me for, then you start getting a lot of these fucking like fan wars and shit like that. But for me, I know that's like a reality. I know that's something that you can't really escape. And you know, that is such a huge crowd that it's gonna take so much time. And if not, like there's no coming back from it. I get it, right? You know, I get it. But please, I just want the fans and you know, for all the people in the back out there too, I just want fans to understand that you are truly appreciated by the artists as well, right? Well, me anyway, fucking hell. Like, I truly appreciate fans that have always been there in the community, that have always stuck through, have always wanted to dig deeper, have always wanted to find some type of relation and have found it. And just kept that genuinity alive, you know. For me, it's such a bummer and such a shame if I saw that getting crippled. Like, I just don't want that to be the case, because again, I don't want y'all's experiences, and you know, I don't want your like whole perception of what you think support and respecting an artist to be completely like thrown off just because we have like a whole society and a whole crowd just fucking bottlenecking you and just like shoving shit down your throat so you can't say anything, right? Like, I don't stand for that. I'm not that type of artist, and I don't give a shit, because for me, like I get it. I know those people that just want to hate because they want to hate. I know the people that want to be out there and they just want to fucking give you some type of, you know, fucking thing to tiki-taka with because they want to get a big reaction out of you. It's like, all right, we'll do that. But in the process, I'm going to start calling you out. I'm going to start calling you all out, because it's like, you're just getting way too comfortable, honey. You're just getting way too comfortable now, because for me, I'm not your typical oppa type of shit that will be like, oh, I'll let you do this, I'll let you do that. No, I'm sorry, man. Fuck that. Because for me, it's like, you know, that's not what DVR is. That's not what we are. I know very well, and I'm very well and aware of who really support us out there. I'm very well and aware of who really loves us, and I'm very well and aware of if that is going to be if that is going to be tainted. I'm sorry, you know, like I'm gonna start talking out on that, even if that means it costs me this and it costs me that and costs me this. And if people listen, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just a bit manic, which could be a lot worse. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. So I love the support y'all give me, you know. I love the support that y'all are giving me. I love the support. Thanks, John. Thanks. John loves this. By the way, John loves this hairstyle. And I was going to surprise him, but you know, apparently I couldn't. So sorry you had to see it on live. So, you know, I just wanted to come out. I just wanted to say that, like, y'all show so much support that it's well recognized. And honestly, there's more of you than there are of them, if you know my context, if you know what I'm talking about. So don't ever let little moments like these and that dishearten your support and your idea of what you think is respecting an artist, with what you think is helping an artist. Right? We need more of that. I sometimes look at like artists and idols, especially idols. I sometimes look at idols. I feel so bad for these people, man. Like, I feel so bad for like, just the idea of like because they're fans, they want to support them. But I see at this other end, at this other hall of them, their fandoms, like this dark cloud that is like gobbling their freaking idea and supports, and you know, it becomes this thing where it becomes more uncomfortable to support their favorite artists, and then it has to diminish their experiences. And because these people are so nice and they're so genuine, it just fucking goes all over them and shit, you know. So, you know, there's got to be a moment in time where you guys stand up for yourselves as well. That, you know, you have to be as brutal, not violent, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not condoning any violence. You just have to be brutal with what you want to stand up for, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to like turn into violence. But you get my point. Anyway, I hope I didn't go into too much of a rant. Y'all need to protect each other. You guys need to be there for each other. As much as there's so much malice in this world, there has to be as much retribution for that type of malice. All right, John, I love you too. So see, like, I get comments with people saying your music makes me feel seen, right? And for me, that means the world. Like, you don't understand. Like, that means so much to me, to have the idea of, like, I thought I was doing music and art for me. Like, I was doing this literally so I can express myself, so I can deny the reality that I live in, because of how much of a fucked up world we live in already. Like, I didn't ask for a lot of the things that I came with, right? But it is what it is. You at the end of the day, you only have two options. You either stick around or you don't. And for me, it's like I decide to stick around because I'm sure in all this amidst of chaos and all these things that have been rubbling and all these fucking, you know, these negative like things that have been just bursting and just waiting to burst in this world, I choose to believe that there is some light to it. I choose to believe that there's some good, and I choose to believe there's some beauty to it. And for me, it's like if I can manage to see that, if I can somehow convince myself to see that there's something like that, maybe others will see that too. Maybe, just maybe, others will find that relief and start really believing that as well. Because who am I? Like, what am I? Like, I don't know anything. Like, I only know how to get what I'm very good at just out there. And some people might be like, oh, you know, he goes off again, you know, he's being too moody, and he's like, you know, all he talks about is mental health. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, this is literally what you get, you know. And again, it's like if you don't like it, you know, it's no one's forcing you to stay. But the reason why you're staying, I reckon, is because I feel like there's something in you too that is kind of pulling you towards something. And I feel like, you know, it takes a lot of time for people to digest something. And once people digest it, they shit it out. Just metaphorically speaking as well, what that means is you have something built inside of you. You have something like building up. I get it. You have a lot to say, but it takes some time for you to digest it, for you to really let it out, right? And for people that are asking if I'm angry, yes and no. But I'm not really angry because like somebody said something to me. No, I'm just angry because I sometimes want to believe that we have a community that is growing towards a more of a empowering society. Like I really truly want to believe that, especially DPR is something that we kind of want to build as a collective and kind of grow together as something that we can be proud of. I think that's one thing that I've always kind of wanted. Right, so when I see that going off the ropes and, you know, kind of stirring up a little bit, and I get it, I just don't want the fans that have always been there from day one to be disheartened. And when I see that, it disheartens me, because for me, man, I want to be there just as much as you guys are there for me. And I see there's so much value in that. I think there is. Like what, like, again, man, like what, why would I be doing this? And, you know, and to all the people out there that are like, that pose threats as like, oh, you know, you're gonna get cancelled and whatever, and, you know, we'll cancel you for this and this. Fucking do it, man. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll just, for me, I know this, as long as I'm genuine and content, and as long as I'm really genuine with the intent that whatever I do is for the purpose of something positive, and is to bring more people to the light, then I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't need your affirmation. I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing it for these type of people. So, for all these people that, you know, fucking shoving their shit down on my, you know, DMs and all that shit, like, great, man. Fucking do it. Do it, or impose as much as you want. Listen, like, that's how much of a world we live in right now. It's sorry. Anyway, I went down the rabbit hole again. But my point being is, like, I'm not. Listen, man. If you gotta know something about me, I'm not somebody that, like, you're dealing with somebody that's fucking manic, right? Like, you really want to go there. Like, you think like something like that, like, kind of, like, worries me or scares me or anything. I'm very, very honed in on what I believe in. I'm very fucking, you gotta know that about me. I'm very adamant with what I believe in, and I'm very adamant with the people that I want to bring up, and I'm very adamant with knowing what real is, right? That's not for you to justify it. That is not for some of those people out there to want to turn, you know. I get it. I get what people will want to do. I get people would want to try to, like, manifest into, like, kind of, you know, like, changing me or some shit. I don't change, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, I really don't get how people think that type of reaction that, you know, they want out of me is gonna lessen the person that I am. And this is a message that I want to put out to everyone out there, especially the fans that we have. That's who you guys are. You know, that's who you are. You guys are the people that stand up for yourselves. You believe in real art. You believe it means something to you, and only to you. That's why it matters, right? That's why it matters. That's the type of fandom that we are, and that's what I've always been proud of. And listen, like, if I can't come out here very boldly and say this, then what type of artist am I to you guys? Like, really? Like, what am I then? What am I really doing this for? Right? At the end of the day, we are doing art, we are expressing ourselves, but we're building worlds, and we're and, you know, through these worlds, it's bringing people together, and it's creating something to live beyond about, and live, you know, it's just, you know, it goes as simple as to say, if it becomes a very enlightening topic to talk about at a dinner table with your family, it brings your brother or your sister or your best friend that didn't like stuff like that, to a point where you guys can start talking about things that people deem a taboo, which, whether it be mental health, whether it be something that, you know, that what we believe. Like, I fucking hate when people are like, why is this guy talking about mental health so much? Why? Like, fucking hell, man. Like, how much of a like diminished idea or like a frowned upon thing is it to really, like, talk about in this society? How has it got it to that point where all of a sudden it's you know, like, it's some people say like it's very cringe to try. It's very cringe to show who you are to the world. Like, what I get what's so cringe about it? Like, what the heck? Like, fucking hell. Like, if being you is cringe, then, like, literally that just goes to show how much of a judgmental society we've become. We love judging. Fucking people love judging the shit out of everyone, eh? Like, we just love judging people. But it's so much more easier to judge, right? It's so much more easier to point fingers rather than to address that it might just be because we didn't get whatever that type of love or whatever that attention is, or we just don't like it. Like it could be as simple as that, right? So here's my thing, just learn how to just pick up things that you want to pick up, process the things that only you want to process, and go beyond that, right? And just I encourage to stand up for yourselves and stand up for what you really believe in, because at the end of the day, artists need that, right? The artists in the K-pop industry really need that. They need that type of support, man. They really do. Like, it's such a dark world. It's such a dark industry out there. Like, I'm sure half the things that they want to say, they can't. And I feel so bad for that. And, you know, like, they really, I'm sure people like them and people like me, when we see, like, fans, like, really digging deep and really wanting to show that level of support and extend that reach, but are very careful on doing so because it might trigger something. Like, when we see that, it becomes disheartening, because it's like, oh man, like, why can't we just, like, I'm sure there's so many moments when an idol sees that and it's just like, man, I just want to go and give this fan a hug. Man, I just really want to go and say to this person that you're doing the right thing. But we can't, because we're sensitive to a certain extent. Right? Like, somebody said, I feel like I'm getting words about life from my big brother who I don't have. I'm so happy I can be that for you, man. Like, I don't have siblings myself, but for me, it's like, I've always wanted to be that figure, I guess, but I've always wanted a big brother myself, you know? So, you know, again, this whole idea and this whole topic really did start because I've always wanted to ingrain more of the image of what type of artist what type of thing I wanted to stand up for, what type of artist I wanted to be. You know, this, because again, what kind of artist are you if you're letting so many things impose your characteristics? If you're letting so many things impose your judgment of things, what do you stand for? And then overall, how can your supporters and your followers and your fans and your family and friends really know who to follow and really know who to support? So again, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it to the full extent of what you guys mean to us and what you guys have done for us and what you guys are truly still doing for us. Like, I really, 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 you know, again, I completely am always grateful for that. And, you know, a lot of times I try to be real, right? And, you know, I sometimes stop and I think, and I'm like, am I being too real? Am I saying too many things that, you know, like, I shouldn't? But you know what? To a certain extent, I'm sure there's my teams, that's why I have a good team on standby. But if I can't really vocalize what I want to say, what I believe in, and I know for sure that's not bringing any harm to anyone, then like, fuck, man, like, what am I doing this for? Like, so, yeah, man, like, that's it. Like, that's all I have to say. That's really all I have to say. Just keep supporting, keep doing you guys. Just don't let anyone discourage what you believe in, what you support and what you respect. It's really not going to change, and it's really not going to go anywhere, you know. Again, man, my job is to, again, disassociate from what reality is. It's to turn it into something that we see it in our own lights, and that is the idea of what that is. And, you know, maybe that's where unconditional love comes from, but I think that's what I really truly believe in. Like, if it in any way, if I've never seen you and I've never really ever connected with you in real life physically, and if there's like some type of connection through some type of medium that I've projected, and that brings in you because there's some type of relation, then that's that's unconditional for me, you know. So, like, I don't want to just be somebody that's like, oh yeah, you know, like, he doesn't give a shit about anyone, like, you know, like, there is to a certain extent, artists obviously won't know the faces of all the idols that are supporting us. Sorry, not artists and idols won't know the faces of all the fans that are supporting them. Meaning they won't know exactly to a certain extent what they are doing behind closed doors. So the only moment and the only time that they can really truly show that appreciation is when you meet them, is when, you know, we see this. And every time I see it, for me, it's like, I wanted to keep it a thing where I don't want to save this form of expression for another time. Like, I don't want to see this and be like, oh, you know, I got to let these people know later. No, I want to see this. I want to let them know now. Like, you know, like, it's not like, again, it's not like I can do that even if I sit at the desk and I scope through every single message, every single art, every single like everything that you guys ever do for me. Like, even if I see that, like, I will never get to the bottom of it, right? So whenever I get the time, I really want to put that out there, which is why I'm very vocal, which is why I'm very attentive to this, you know. So hopefully if I meet you, you know, that would be the best. Like, I would love to do that, you know. So yeah, man, like, listen, I'm not here to break stereotypes. I'm not here to like break some type of like form of systematic, like, whatever this shit is in the industry. But I do see that there should be a lot more of this and less more of that. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, on to other news. So that's that, right? That's my 5 minutes. It's a little bit more than 5 minutes. So moving on, right? Tours coming up, shows are coming up, and I'm so sick of like people gotta understand. I've been gaining a lot of weight, man. Like, when I was in Korea, I was so stressed. I have like a tendency. I didn't realize this, but I have a tendency when I think when my manics and my mood swings roll to a certain extent, I think it kind of collides with my eating. So it's either I don't eat or I eat a lot, and you know, more times than not now I've been eating so much. So that is why I've been getting so plump. Right, I've been getting like little more like rounder and chubbier, and you know, a lot of people have mistaken that for like me getting a botched up job. Oh my god, I was about to say something else. A botched up Botox job or some shit like that. Fucking hell, man, how bad am I? Listen. Like, so all the interviews and all that everything I've done in Korea, like, I get it. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, fuck, man, that's what it look like when I get, like, more around. So I get where that idea comes from, but it's not a botched up Botox job. Fuck, man, if I got Botox, I'm sure I wouldn't get it like that. And it's because I got fat. It's because I got more round. It's because I've been eating good. Alright? It's because I've been eating good. I don't have a problem with like people saying that shit, but I just want to clarify it, man. Like, I get it. Okay, so that's how I get when I eat a lot, you know? This is okay, I get it. I don't know why I was about to say like, so anyway, I just wanted to put that out, alright? Like, stress eating is a whole nother level, because for me, I thoroughly enjoy eating. I fucking love it. I live to eat. That's my new motto. I live to eat. So I live to eat, and listen, I love cooking. And I love experimenting. I love finding new food. I love going to places to eat as much as I want. And I love food so much that sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I probably should work out just so I can eat. Like, just so I can go full out. But I realize my metabolisms aren't as good as they used to be, right? That's what happens when you get older. Somebody said, can you cook me? Do you mean, can I cook for you? Because I ain't gonna cook you. I'm gonna cook for you. And could I speak Spanish? like my Espanol is gonna have to wait. I'm learning though. I'm learning. Right. I'm gonna, that's something I wanted to do for the for this year is actually is actually learn Spanish. So maybe I could find a good Spanish teacher. It's because I want to stop saying no español. Like I really want to start saying sí. I know how to speak Spanish. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, French is really hard. French is really hard. I know for a fact if I don't really nail my French on the first go, I think like French people are just gonna despise me, like just on the spot. I feel like I'm gonna be so judged. I want to stop being able to just say hola, that's... So anyway, I can't wait for the tour coming up. Guys, if you haven't got your tickets already, like please go and get your tickets, because I promise you, this is going to be like a show that you don't want to miss out, right? And yeah, first of all, I can't wait to see you guys. All right. They will not be kind, somebody says. You're right. They will not be kind. Once they, once they see like, oh, this guy's like trying to speak French, they're just gonna give me the nose and just be like, can you speak Indonesian? No, I do want to learn though. I so want to learn. Will the projector light sticks be restocked? Yes, I think we are coming out with the general. So we had the serial number ones, and then we have the general ones. I think what's the difference with the general one is the stand and the lights get sold separately. But for me, it's like I think you do need the stand, just because if you don't, it kind of looks like this, and it looks a bit like it looks like a sex toy or something. And for me, trust me, that wasn't the intention. And I was like, you know what? Hey man, if y'all want to go ahead and use it, do it. But like for me, it's a light stick, alright? It's a bloody light stick, alright? But hey, whatever y'all want to do with it, like I'm not judging. I'm not saying anything, but it's up to you, man. I'm just saying it just looks better on a stand. Okay, I'm just saying, All right. So anyway, for me, it's like so I don't even know why I went to go drink that. It's gonna feel a bit awkward now. So anyway, light sticks, yes, restock. Merch, yes, we're gonna start restocking that too. And tours coming up real soon. Again, I keep saying that, but that's because I am probably thinking way too much and way more than what I should be thinking. Somebody is asking if there's light sticks. Yes, darling. We've got light sticks, and for me, some people are like, that's an idol thing, right? That's like a K-pop thing. Listen, man, when I was an idol, I've always wanted that shit. Like, you gotta understand. Like, I've always wanted something like that. Like I never really had the opportunity, because we were like a nobody back then. We were such a low grade idol that I'm not used to a lot of the fancy schmancy things that a lot of these idols get. And for me, it's just a thing where it's like, if I feel like it could serve so much more as a milestone. Granted, like I mean, it does look like a bit of an interesting spaceship, but I wanted, me and Chin Young, we worked really hard on that, and for me, it's like it serves so much more than a light stick. It's about the meaning, right? Anyway. Yeah, so okay, a lot of people don't know, man. When I was back in my idol days, man, I was more used to being in the dirt rather than not, right? I was more used to idol 때는 I was more used to being treated like shit than not. Like, I was just, so that because again, I was so used to that. Like, I was always worried about something going like terribly wrong all the time. Like I was more used to having like, I'll be surprised if I had 3 fans, you know, at our show. Like that would mean so much to me. And listen, I think that's where I truly understood how to be grateful for things, because for me, even 1 fan was like, at times it was the beacon of light at like one of those moments of those shows, because I had all these other people staring down at me, waiting for the next oppas and shit to come out. And fuck, man, like I remember like they'll just give me the stare, they'll give me like the dirties. The fans would just be so brutal. I'm sure y'all know, like they just wouldn't look at you, man. They go on their phones and they're just like they're just on their phones until their oppas come out, you know. So me, because I have such a fond memory and a fond idea of that's what my stages used to be like. Man, I'm like blessed. Like, you don't understand. Like, it's just how I feel right now. So yeah, man, I'm all for that, man. I'm all for like y'all should support the artists that you should support. Great, all right. Puerto Rico loves you. Thank you. I can't wait to go to the South Americas. I just have a few more things. I have a few more surprises up my sleeve before we go to the tour, before we start the tour. So I can't wait for that. Can't wait to you know, indulge in that with you guys. Yes, it was a humbling experience. It was such a humbling experience, which I'll never forget, you know. So, by the way, guys, if you come to the show and, you know, if you want to party and go crazy and, you know, show this love and support, go for it, man. And if you see me on the streets in your city, don't be afraid to come up and, you know, say hi and say what's up. Philippines next. Well, anyway, guys, if oh yeah, somebody says I see you and I feel like crying. You know what? Like I had hard moments and hard times trying to hold back my tears when I was seeing a lot of these fans, kind of just like vomit out like literally all their experiences and the problems and the traumas. It was such a healing moment for me that it was so hard for me to contain my emotions, but I knew I had to keep it straight. But you know, I know I'm expecting a lot of that too, so I can't wait to hear your stories. I can't wait to see you guys, just to be there with you guys, just to have like a really heck of a night and, you know, make really cool memories. If you guys don't have anyone, if you guys are going alone to our shows, try to find people that you can go with, and for people that have people that reach out to you as a group, as like an individual, and you guys have a group, please welcome them, you know, and please just bring them along and make anyone feel welcome that's going alone, because it's just as important. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that are scared going to, maybe might be their first time going to a show or something. So if you're afraid, please, and let's say even at the venue, if you see somebody that's kind of worried and kind of like enjoying it, but at the same time is kind of being very like angsty, please go up to them and please help them, right? I absolutely will condone that. Like, I would want people to go and help others and, you know, kind of be there for people that are pretty alone going to shows like that. So if you guys want, and if whoever's going alone here, please, like, just go reach out to them first. Go to the nearest cities, do whatever, you know. What is your main emotion at a concert? I'll be honest, that's very hard to say, because I know I'll be switching quite a bit during these shows. Not because of how bad it, because of how stimulated I become. When I become too stimulated, I become manic. And when I become manic, I start switching. And as a joke, me and my team always say, so we don't know who they'll get on stage. Like, we don't know who you'll get on stage. You might get Milo, you might get Ian, you might get Insanity. So, I mean, I think that's part of the surprise of doing some of these shows. And sometimes it'll be very apparent, you know. I am going to Canada. Listen, guys, like, if you haven't checked out the cities that we're going, Go check it out, and please bring your friends and come along. It's still open. There's still tickets, except for some cities, but please come along and have fun, right? And I do have like a bit of a surprise to announce at each of my cities. Might be good, might be not. I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty cool surprise. What's my dream car? That's an interesting question. I never got that. You know what? I was never into cars. I was more into bikes, Harleys, you know, all that dirty fucking, you know, oily type of thing. So for me, I realized my dream car was one of those classic cars, you know, like those old school classic Jaguars, you know. I don't even know the name of the models. That's how out of date I am with cars. But I've always wanted like a classic car. Like I don't want like a modern car. I've always wanted like one of those cars where, you know, the car that you see Mido drive in So I Danced, something like that. Like that. I just want to something like that, you know. Someone says because of me, they're willing to learn English. You know what? I feel like I put a lot of people on learning English because because of how much I rant, and it's like I think it stresses them out. Anyway, I can't wait to see you guys. I can't wait to be there for you guys. You know, just whatever. If you want to take it with a grain of salt with whatever I said today, do so. But you know, I made my point, and I love you all so much, which is why I'm doing this. You know, again, I don't know how long I'll be doing this, but I'm sure as hell going to be trying to do this for as long as I can. So, again, don't miss out on all these things, and I do have a bit of a surprise coming for you guys before the first dates of the shows. So, be open to that. I'm going to be going to Singapore real soon as well. So I don't know if that's news to you guys. So I can't wait to meet y'all. I love you all so much. Please be safe, right? And if you ever feel the need, you want to talk to someone, everything, you know, just please leave a message. Beep. Usually that's when I hang up, but no, you know, I can't. Yeah, love you all. Support each other. Lift each other up. Please just fucking lift each other up, man. Like, we already have too many people just shitting on everyone. Like, it just, you know what? It doesn't really, it's for free. Like, it doesn't cost anything to bring somebody up. And more so, it's just because you don't know what the other person is going through. You really don't, right? You don't know what anyone's going through. So the least you can do is be nice, right? So the least you can do is be nice, guys. It doesn't cost anything. It's for free. And trust me, it makes the world a whole lot better, okay? Love you all. See you from the other side. And I'll see you guys real soon. Peace.